Ladies and gentlemen, we all go through moments when people hurt us, whether it's a loved one, a friend, or a stranger. The pain feels real and it shakes us to the core. But in these moments, we must remind ourselves that our response is in our hands. The way we choose to handle pain can either lead us to healing or keep us stuck in a cycle of hurt. Today, I want to share with you 6 truths, simple but powerful, that can change the way you approach people who hurt you. We all experience pain at some point in our lives, often caused by others, whether it's through words, actions, or in some cases, complete indifference. In these moments, we find ourselves at a crossroads. Do we allow ourselves to feel the pain, or do we bury it deep inside, pretending it doesn't matter? The first step in healing is to acknowledge the pain that others have caused. To allow yourself the space to truly feel what you're feeling is one of the most powerful actions you can take. It may sound simple, but it's an act of courage and self-compassion. Too often we are conditioned to push through pain or to hide our emotions. We may fear that showing our vulnerability will make us weak or that others won't understand. In reality, ignoring or suppressing our feelings can lead to a buildup of unresolved emotions, which can affect our mental, emotional, and even physical health in the long run. But when we allow ourselves to truly feel the hurt, we begin to release the emotional pressure that comes with it. It's like allowing a wound to breathe so it can heal. Embracing our emotions means giving ourselves permission to be human. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be angry. Those emotions are valid. Pain is not a sign of weakness, but of being alive, of being in touch with our hearts and our truth. When someone hurts us, there's a natural reaction of grief or disappointment, and it's important to give ourselves the grace to process those emotions. If we hold them in, they become trapped energy, keeping us stuck in the past and preventing us from moving forward. Allowing yourself to feel hurt doesn't mean wallowing in the pain indefinitely. It simply means that you acknowledge the emotion, sit with it for a moment, and then begin the process of moving through it. Acknowledge that someone's words or actions have affected you, but don't let those feelings define you. You are not the sum of the pain others have caused. You are someone who is processing that pain in a healthy way, ready to heal and grow stronger. When you give yourself permission to feel, you're also giving yourself permission to heal. The process of healing can begin if you refuse to recognize what hurts you. Think of it as shining a light on a dark corner of your heart, allowing you to see the wound clearly. Only then can you start addressing it, whether it's through forgiveness, self-reflection, or simply choosing to let go. In this way, acknowledging your feelings becomes the first step toward reclaiming your power and finding peace. It is also essential to remember that emotions are not permanent. We can feel hurt today and find healing tomorrow. Feelings are fluid and they change with time. By embracing them as they come, we give ourselves the freedom to experience the fullness of life, both the joys and the sorrows, without fear. After all, pain is part of the human experience, and by accepting it, we learn to navigate through it with greater resilience. When someone hurts us, our natural reaction is often to internalize it. We wonder, what did I do wrong? Why am I being treated this way? It's easy to assume that their words or actions are a direct reflection of our worth or character. However, the truth is that hurtful behavior often has little to do with us and everything to do with the other person's unresolved pain. Understanding this can be incredibly liberating and allow us to respond to the situation with a clearer perspective. People who lash out or cause harm are often grappling with their own internal struggles. Their actions may be a result of their unhealed wounds, insecurities, or frustrations. When someone treats you poorly, it's not necessarily because of something you've done. It may be because they are struggling with their own unresolved emotions, issues, or experiences. Perhaps they are projecting their anger or sadness onto you, or they may simply lack the emotional tools to express themselves in a healthy way. This understanding allows us to separate ourselves from the situation. It's important to remember that their actions are about them, not about you. It's easier said than done, but when we take things personally, we allow someone else's unresolved issues to dictate our emotional state. We allow their pain to invade our peace. But by recognizing that their hurtful actions come from their own internal world, we can detach emotionally and see the situation with more clarity. When we take it personally, we often start to question our own worth. we begin to wonder if we deserve the treatment we're receiving or if we've done something to provoke it. This self-doubt can be incredibly damaging, especially when it's based on assumptions rather than reality. The truth is, no one has the power to define our worth except ourselves. We are worthy of respect, kindness, and love, regardless of how others treat us. Understanding this fact allows us to protect our self-esteem and prevents us from internalizing hurtful behavior. Moreover, when we stop taking things personally, we create space for compassion. We start to understand that the person who hurt us may be struggling with their own pain. Perhaps they're dealing with a difficult past or facing challenges that we can't see. While their behavior is not excusable, understanding their struggle allows us to respond with empathy rather than anger. When we detach from the personal aspect of their actions, we give ourselves the ability to choose how we react, whether we decide to set boundaries, seek resolution, or simply walk away. Not taking it personally also frees us from the constant cycle of self-blame. If we constantly question what we did wrong, we're never able to move forward. By releasing that burden, we stop giving power to the other person's actions. We are no longer prisoners of their behavior. Instead, we regain control of our emotional response and are able to act from a place of strength and clarity. In the end, hurtful actions from others are often rooted in their own unresolved issues. Recognizing this truth helps us separate ourselves from their pain, protecting our own well-being and preserving our sense of self-worth. It allows us to respond to hurt with grace, resilience, and empathy rather than being caught in a cycle of unnecessary self-doubt. Setting boundaries is one of the most important forms of self-care. It is an essential tool for protecting your emotional, mental, and even physical well-being. When we're hurt by others, we often need to create space between ourselves and the source of that pain. However, setting boundaries isn't about building walls or pushing people away. It's about protecting yourself while maintaining your integrity. It's about creating a space where you can exist without constantly absorbing the negativity or harmful behavior of others. And the key to doing this effectively is to set boundaries with compassion, both for yourself and for the other person. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. They communicate to others that you will not tolerate being mistreated or disrespected, and that your peace and well-being are a priority. But boundaries don't need to be harsh or punitive. In fact, setting boundaries with grace and kindness helps to maintain the dignity of all parties involved. It's not about being hostile or vengeful. It's about communicating your needs in a respectful way. When you set boundaries from a place of compassion, you are showing others how to treat you with respect while also protecting your emotional health. One of the most important aspects of setting boundaries with compassion is to be clear and direct about what you need. Often, people may not even realize that their behavior is harmful to you. Sometimes, they may have crossed a line without knowing it. By calmly expressing how their actions have affected you and what you need in order to feel safe or respected, you create a clear path for healthier interactions in the future. This doesn't have to be a confrontation. It can be a simple, respectful conversation where you express your feelings without attacking or blaming the other person. For example, instead of saying, "You always hurt me," you can say, "When you said that, it made me feel upset, and I'd appreciate it if we could communicate more kindly in the future." Setting boundaries is also about knowing when to step away. Sometimes we need to distance ourselves from certain individuals or situations in order to protect our peace. However, this doesn't mean cutting them out of your life permanently or acting out of spite. It simply means recognizing that their behavior is affecting you in a way that is unhealthy and taking the necessary steps to safeguard yourself. You don't need to justify or explain your need for space. It's okay to say, "I need some time to process this," or "I need to take a step back for my own well-being." Setting boundaries with compassion is about creating a space where both parties can feel respected. It's about maintaining kindness and dignity even in difficult situations. This approach helps to avoid unnecessary conflict and opens the door for more positive, respectful relationships in the future. When you set boundaries with grace, you are teaching others how to treat you. You are showing them that you respect yourself enough to protect your peace and that you will not tolerate behavior that undermines your emotional or mental health. By setting boundaries in a compassionate way, you also cultivate a sense of empowerment within yourself. You take control of your emotional well-being and create healthier dynamics in your relationships. This practice allows you to honor your own needs while maintaining respect for others, ensuring that you are both protected and able to nurture your connections with those who respect and support you. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. Many people equate it with excusing someone else's bad behavior or justifying hurtful actions. In reality, forgiveness isn't about making the other person right or letting them off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional chains that come with carrying resentment, anger, or bitterness. When we hold on to negative emotions towards those who have hurt us, we are essentially allowing them to continue controlling our emotional state long after the incident has passed. Choosing to forgive is a powerful act of reclaiming your peace and mental freedom. Resentment and anger are heavy burdens to carry. When we are wrong, the natural reaction is often to harbor feelings of hurt, frustration, or rage. These emotions can be consuming, affecting not only our mindset, but also our health and relationships. Holding on to grudges can lead to stress, anxiety, and even physical ailments. The longer we allow these feelings to fester, the more they take root in our hearts and minds, making it harder to move forward. But forgiveness offers a release, a chance to let go of the weight and regain control over our lives. Choosing forgiveness doesn't mean you're saying what the person did was acceptable. It doesn't mean you condone their actions or allow them to continue treating you poorly. It simply means that you are no longer allowing their behavior to have power over you. Forgiveness is about setting yourself free from the emotional prison of anger and resentment. When we forgive, we are acknowledging the hurt, recognizing the impact it had on us, but then choosing to let go of the emotional attachment to the pain. We are choosing peace over conflict, healing over suffering. It's important to understand that forgiveness is a process, not a one-time decision. At first, you may find it difficult to release the anger, especially if the wound feels fresh or deeply personal. But the more you practice forgiveness, the more you begin to release the hold that resentment has on you. It's not about forgetting what happened, but rather about choosing not to let it dictate your emotional responses or control your future. When you forgive, you reclaim your power. You stop letting the hurtful actions of others define your happiness or peace. Forgiveness also allows us to break the cycle of negativity. When we hold on to anger, we often perpetuate a cycle of pain, affecting our relationships and our own sense of well-being. Holding grudges keeps us tethered to the past, preventing us from fully engaging with the present or looking forward to a brighter future. By forgiving, we break that cycle, allowing ourselves to move forward with more clarity and less emotional baggage. It doesn't mean that the past is erased or forgotten. It simply means that we choose not to carry it with us anymore. In essence, forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves. It doesn't benefit the person who hurt us. It benefits us by releasing the emotional grip they have on us. It allows us to take back control of our lives and our emotional state. Letting go of resentment doesn't erase the hurt, but it does allow us to heal, to grow, and to move forward with grace and strength. Forgiveness is freedom, the freedom to live a life unburdened by anger, a life where we can embrace our own peace and happiness without being weighed down by the past. In a world where external circumstances constantly shift and people's behaviors can be unpredictable, it's easy to get caught up in the drama around us. Whether it's a disagreement with a friend, a conflict at work, or the negativity of the people we encounter, it's all too easy for someone else's actions to disrupt our mental and emotional peace. But the truth is, no one else has the power to control your inner state unless you let them. Your peace is yours to protect, and prioritizing it is essential to living a healthy and fulfilled life. When we allow others' actions or words to dictate how we feel, we give up control over our own emotional well-being. It's important to realize that no matter what happens in the external world, we have the power to choose how we respond. The more we react impulsively to external drama, the more we give away our sense of peace. While it's natural to feel upset or hurt when someone acts in a way that affects us negatively, it's crucial to recognize that our peace of mind is a choice. We are not powerless in these situations. We can decide to let go of the emotional charge that comes with the negativity rather than letting it consume us. Focusing on your inner peace means creating a solid foundation within yourself that is not dependent on the behavior of others. It means cultivating a sense of calm that is anchored in self-awareness, mindfulness, and emotional resilience. When you are at peace within, external events lose their power to shake you. You learn to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. In moments of tension or conflict, you can take a step back, breathe, and center yourself before deciding how to move forward. One way to protect your peace is to set boundaries that shield you from unnecessary stress and drama. If a person or situation consistently brings negativity into your life, it's okay to distance yourself or limit your exposure. You don't have to engage in every conflict or absorb every negative energy around you. Prioritize your well-being by recognizing when something or someone is disturbing your peace and taking action to preserve your emotional balance. Another key to maintaining inner peace is practicing mindfulness. By staying present in the moment and not allowing yourself to be swept away by worries about the past or future, you create space for peace to flourish. When you are fully engaged in the present, you are less likely to get caught up in the emotional reactions to external events. Mindfulness allows you to observe your thoughts and emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them, giving you the ability to process them more effectively and return to a state of calm. Remember, your peace is not fragile, it's resilient. The more you practice nurturing it, the stronger it becomes. Focusing on your inner peace doesn't mean ignoring the reality of the world around you or pretending that everything is perfect. It means acknowledging that while you cannot control other people's actions, you can always control your response. It means valuing your well-being above temporary discomforts and external drama. By protecting your peace, you are ensuring that you remain grounded, centered, and capable of handling whatever life throws your way with grace and clarity. In the face of hurt and betrayal, our natural instinct can often be to retaliate. We want to hurt the person who hurt us, to make them feel the same pain we're experiencing. Revenge feels like a way to restore balance, to regain some control over the situation. But the truth is, revenge only perpetuates the cycle of negativity and pain, trapping both parties in a destructive loop. Instead of seeking revenge, choosing empathy allows us to break that cycle and heal, not just for ourselves, but for the other person as well. Empathy, at its core, is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It requires us to step outside our own pain and view the situation from the other person's perspective. While it's not easy, especially when we've been hurt deeply, empathy allows us to see beyond the actions of the person who hurt us and recognize that their behavior may be a reflection of their own unresolved pain. Often, people lash out or hurt others because they are carrying their own burdens, emotional wounds, or insecurities. By choosing empathy over revenge, we acknowledge that their actions are likely rooted in their struggles, not in a personal vendetta against us. When we practice empathy, we open the door to compassion, not only for others, but for ourselves as well. Instead of allowing ourselves to be consumed by anger and resentment, we create space for understanding. We begin to see that everyone is fighting a battle, whether visible or invisible. The person who has wronged us may be acting out of fear, jealousy, insecurity, or grief, emotions they may not know how to express in a healthy way. This realization doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps us see them as human beings who, like us, are imperfect and flawed. Choosing empathy over revenge doesn't mean we let people walk all over us or tolerate mistreatment. It means we acknowledge their pain without allowing it to define how we respond. It's about choosing to heal rather than hurt. When we take the high road and respond with compassion, we break free from the need to retaliate. Instead of becoming emotionally entangled in their drama, we preserve our own peace and create space for healing. Furthermore, practicing empathy can lead to profound personal growth. When we choose to understand rather than judge, we expand our own emotional intelligence. We learn to view difficult situations with more openness and less bias, which ultimately helps us navigate all relationships with greater patience and kindness. By letting go of the desire for revenge, we free ourselves from the grip of negative emotions, which allows us to move forward with grace. In choosing empathy, we also choose to reclaim our power. Revenge may feel satisfying in the moment, but it is a short lived victory. It keeps us trapped in the cycle of anger and bitterness. Empathy, on the other hand, liberates us. It allows us to let go of the past, focus on the present, and ultimately experience greater peace and fulfillment. The act of choosing understanding over vengeance is a sign of strength, not weakness. It is the strength to rise above pain and choose healing. In the end, how we handle hurt is not about the other person. It's about us. We are in control of our healing. The more we protect our peace, the more we cultivate strength. So remember these 6 truths and know that you have the power to rise above the hurt and embrace a future filled with peace, strength, and love. Thank you.